So today we are going to start with the topic called prospectus, allotment of securities and private placement, everyone, right? Now, first of all, we have to understand what do you mean by the term called what? Prospectus. What do you mean by the term called prospectus? Now, see, suppose there is one company, we are understanding the meaning of prospectus now. Now, suppose there is one company called A Limited. Now, this A Limited wants to raise 10,000 crore rupees from public. It wants to raise the 10,000 crore rupees from where? From the public. Now, what is the option available with? What is the option available with this particular company? The option available with this particular company is that it may go and issue the what? Prospectus to the public. What it will issue? Prospectus to the public. Now, what do you mean by prospectus? It is a document in which company will show its history and background. Company will show its financials, and company also will show its other information by which they are inviting the public ki please come and invest in my company. That is what do you mean by prospectus. Now tell me, when I'm using the word called public, everyone, am I targeting any particular group of people or it is an invitation to anyone in India? Yeah, Ummel, you can keep it unmuted, no problem. Remaining all of you, please keep yourself muted because I think background noise is coming from everywhere. So Ummel, please tell me, did I say that I want to raise the money from this particular person, or did I say that anybody in the public can apply my shares?
Anybody public can invest.
So it means prospectus is something, can I say that, which is known as invitation to public. Invitation to public for purchase of what? Securities of a company. It is an invitation to the public for the purchase of securities of the company, right? This is what do you mean by prospectus, right? Now,
Yes.
when we talk about the prospectus, it is known as public offer. It is also known as which offer, Amma? Public offer. So we are making an offer to the public and anybody can come and can buy my shares. That is called what? Prospectus. Now, sir, what do you mean by private placement? I'm just making you understand first of all some concepts so that at the later stage when we'll use these words, it will look easier for you to understand. Now, what do you mean by private placement, everyone? Private placement का मतलब क्या होता है? Now here company, say for example, wants to raise 1,000 crore rupees. I want to raise the 1,000 crore rupees. Now just simply remove everything from your mind and just listen to me properly. Here company wants to raise the 1,000 crore rupees, but company does not want to give this invitation to the public. Company does not want to give the invitation to whom? Public. Company wants particular people. Company has already selected some group of people from whom the company wants to raise this 1,000 crore rupees. So the company, say for example, selected these group of people, and it means, now tell me, Ummel, here the company is making the offer to the public, or company has already selected the few group of people to whom the company is making the offer?
Specific group of people.
Specified group of people. So these specified group of people, we call them as inner circle of the company. We call them as what? Inner circle of the company. Now, in the first case also, company is raising the 10,000 crore rupees. In the second case also, company is raising the money. But did you find the difference in raising the money, everyone? Yes. In the first case, did I make any particular person's offer or I made an offer to the public? I made an offer to the public. Anybody in the public can come and can buy my shares. Am I correct or not? But in the private placement, now I hope now you are understanding why it is called private placement. In the private placement, I am making the offer to the selected group of people. To the which people? Selected group of people to whom I have already chosen. I have already selected them and I send them one offer letter. Okay, I am going to raise this 1,000 crore rupees. You have to buy my shares. Now tell me one thing. What is the difference between the prospectus and private placement you found, everyone? Prospectus is an invitation to the public at large. Whereas a private placement is an invitation to the public at large or selected group of people. Selected group of people. So that's why it is known as private placement of securities. Did you understand the major difference between the two? Yes. Now, second thing you have to understand, ki, sorry, what is the major difference in the like process also? Now look at that. In the prospectus, you have to create a lot of formalities. What are the formalities? You have to print a prospectus. You have to go to the ROC, get it registered with the ROC. You have to go to the SEBI. You have to register one prospectus with a stock exchange. So many different formalities are there because you are raising the money from the public. But in the private placement, now tell me, am I raising the money from the public or selected group of people? Selected group of people. So no, that many formalities are there. And remember one thing, why some companies will go for the private placement? Because they do not want to dilute their control over the company in the more number of hands. Are you getting the point? So this is also one of the reason why private placement is also becoming nowadays a popular thing. Are you getting the point? So there are two ways of raising the capital, everyone. There are two ways of raising the securities in the market. One is known as prospectus and one is known as private placement. So tell me everyone, prospectus is a private offer or a public offer? Public offer. Public offer. Whereas the private placement it is a private offer. We are making an offer to the targeted group of people. I hope you all got understanding like what is the major difference between the public offer and private offer. Clear everyone? Now, when we talk about two companies, there are so many other methods also. There are so many other methods also. Now let's talk about one public company and let's talk about one private company. Now listen to this point very carefully. And the methods of raising securities. Methods of raising securities. Now listen to this point very carefully. When we talk about the public company can make the public offer or cannot make the public offer? Can make the public offer. So yes, public company can make the public offer via prospectus. Company can make the public offer via prospectus. But do you remember section number 2, subsection 68? Private company can make the public offer or private company cannot raise? Yes, private company cannot. So therefore, private company can never issue the prospectus. Did you all understand the point? Yes, everyone. Now, point number 2. Sir, private placement who can do? When we talk about the private placement, it can be done by the public company as well as which company? Private company also. It means public company can also do the private placement and private company also can do the private placement. So did you find the difference between the prospectus and private placement? So prospectus and private placement both can be done by the public company, but the public offer or the prospectus cannot be done by the private company. It can only and only be done by the public company. Did you all understand the point? Next, there is one third method. Sir, what is the third method? Third method is right shares. Can you please tell me what do you mean by right shares? Right shares are those shares which are offered to the existing shareholders. Which shareholders, everyone? Existing shareholders. So it means company can raise the money from its existing shareholder. Who can do? Public company also can do. Private company also can do. And what is the fourth method of raising the money? Fourth method of raising the money is known as which shares, everyone? Bonus shares. This also private company can do and this also public company can do. So if I have to ask you a very simple question, in how many methods, there are how many ways of raising the securities by the public company? There are total how many methods, everyone? 4 methods. And there are how many methods by the private company to raise the money, everyone? Only 3 methods. So which method private company cannot opt? Tell me, Umel, which method private company cannot opt?
Prospectus.
Yes, prospectus. So prospectus is the only prohibition on the which company? Private company. So private company can go for private placement also, right shares also, bonus shares also, but it cannot go for what? Public offer. So tell me one thing, which company has to follow SEBI guidelines out of these two companies? SEBI guidelines. Tell me, which companies can follow the SEBI guidelines? Public company has to follow the SEBI guidelines if the public company is a listed company. But private company can never be the listed company. Therefore, no SEBI guidelines are required to be followed by the private company. So this is what the major difference between the methods of raising the capital between the public company and private company. Did you all understand the point? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is what the major difference between the prospectus and private placement, and this is what the table you have to understand. Now, the very first thing which we are going to understand is known as point number 2. What is the point number 2? What do you mean by public offer? What do you mean by public offer? This is the first thing you have to understand. What do you mean by public offer? Now remember one thing. Public offer is divided into 3 parts. Public offer is divided into how many parts? 3 parts.
3.
It can be a IPO public offer, it can be an FPO public offer, or it can be OFS public offer. Sir, what do you mean by IPO? I hope all of you might have understood about the LIC IPO which has recently come. It is known as initial public offer. It is known as further public offer. And it is known as offer for sale of securities. Offer for sale of securities. Now, listen to these 3 categories of the public offer differently. Now, see, suppose there is a ABCD Limited. ABC Limited. ABC Limited for the first time in their life, they are raising the public money. For the first time in their life, they are raising the public money via issuing what? Prospectus. So tell me, what is ABC Limited doing? ABC Limited is doing a which offer, Amma? IPO. And why it is known as IPO? Because it is known as IPO because it is an initial public offer, first time. Now after 2 years, now say for example, after 2 years, again ABC Limited going for the raising the money from the public. So they are also making the public offer again. Now tell me, is it for the first time or second time? Second time. So from the second time onwards, we call it as which offer, Amma? Further public offer. Are you getting the point? Any public offer which you have made from the second time onwards is known as a which offer, Amma? Further public offer. Now, what is the third public offer? Third public offer is known as OFS, everyone. What is the name? OFS. Now listen to this point very carefully. Now in the ABC Limited, there are some promoters. Obviously, you all know the meaning of promoters now. Yes. Now in the ABC Limited, there are some promoters. Now these promoters are holding 60% of the capital of the company. It means out of 100%, how much promoters are holding, Amma? 60% of the capital they are holding. Are you getting the point? Now, these promoters are willing to sell some part of their shares which are already held. So, suppose promoters took the decision, okay, let's sell 20% of the capital. How much capital they want to sell, Amma? They want to sell the 20% of the capital. It means after selling 20%, how much will be left in the promoter's hand?
40%.
Yes, left will be 40%. Now question is, think logically everyone and give me the answer. Are we issuing the fresh capital here or we are selling the already issued capital to the public? Yes, we are issuing the already issued shares to the public. We are selling the already issued shares to the public. Now tell me, Amma, promoters are holding how much? 60%. So tell me one thing, they already have the issued capital or not? Yes. So tell me, here the money will go in the company's pocket or here the money will go in the pocket of the promoters?
Promoters.
Yes, here the money will go in the pocket of the promoters. So here company is not making the offer to the public. Here who is making the offer to the public? Existing shareholders of the company or the existing promoters of the company are making the offer. I hope you all understood what I said so far? Yes or no? Everything all crystal clear? Did you all understand what I'm saying? So here, who is making the public offer, everyone? Here, public offer company is not making. Here, the public offer company is not making. Already existing shareholders of the company are making. And who are those existing shareholders? It can be promoters, it can be existing shareholders, or it can be venture capitalists, any person. So tell me, this 20% when we are selling it to the public, now tell me how much money will come to the company. To the company, it will come zero. The total money will go in the whose pocket, Amma? The total money will go in the pocket of the promoters. Did you all understand? This 20% money will go in the pocket of whom? Promoters. This kind of sale is known as OFS. What is the meaning of OFS, everyone? Offer for sale of securities. So tell me, everyone, is it the already issued capital we are selling to the public, or it is a fresh capital we are selling to the public?
It's a capital.
Already issued capital we are selling to the public. Did you all understand the concept of IPO, FPO and OFS, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Quickly write CC if you all understood, everyone, in the comment box. Jaldi se likho. If you all understood the concept of IPO, FPO and OFS, just quickly make a note of CC. Perfect. Everyone understood? Yes, everyone? No problem? Yes. Now, what is the common thing in all these things? In the common thing in all these things are, we are here also making the public offer by the company. Here also we are making the public offer by the company. And here also we are making the public offer, but by the company or existing shareholders? Existing shareholders. All these three are being made offer to the public, but by the existing. Now, should I show you practically how it happens? Now, let me tell you one thing. I hope all of you have heard about LIC ka IPO, which has recently come. Right or not? Now, LIC is raising the money for the first time from the public. Second time or first time? They're raising the money for the first time from the public. Are you getting the point? Who? LIC. Now, can anybody tell me who is the major shareholder of the LIC? The major shareholder of the LIC is President of India. LIC is the biggest government organization. President of India was holding 100% of its share capital. Now my question is, LIC, what it is doing is, now President of India thought that let me sell 2.5% of my holding to the public. Let me sell 2.5% of my holding to the public. So indirectly, please tell me, LIC is basically doing what? Is LIC basically doing an IPO, or LIC is basically doing OFS?
OFS.
Yes, LIC is basically doing the OFS. So who is selling the shares? Here LIC is issuing the shares? No. Here the President of India is going to sell his shares to the public. Are you getting the point? But it is also going to be called as an IPO, because this is the first time company is making the public offer to the public. Is it clear, everyone? Yes, everyone? So there are three types of public offer, everyone. One is known as IPO, one is known as FPO, and one is known as OFS. Everyone clear? Yes? Don't worry, we will go in detail to each and everything. Are you getting now? I'm just making you understand some concepts first. Clear, everyone? Now, next thing which we have to understand is the meaning of the term called what? Securities. What do you mean by the term called securities? You might have seen that I have not used the word called shares so far. Why I'm not using the particular word called shares, debentures? Because IPO can be of shares also, IPO can be of debentures also, or IPO can be of any other security also. Is it better to use the word called share debenture, or it's better to use the word called security?
Securities.
It's security. Now, what is the definition of security? Everyone try to understand. What do you mean by the term called what? Security. Now see, actually there is no definition of the word called security in our Companies Act 1956. Therefore, what we did, there is already a section number 2 subsect clause H of SCRA Act 1956. Everyone please repeat, what is the name of the section? Section number 2 subsection H of SCRA Act 1956. Security Contract Regulation Act. This is what the full form of this act. Securities Contract Regulation Act. So in the SCRA Act, we already have one definition of the word called security. So Companies Act ने क्या किया? Companies Act has borrowed this definition from the SCRA Act and included it in the Companies Act. So when you will open your ICI ka material, you will not find any definition under the Companies Act relating to securities. You will find that the definition of the securities has been borrowed from the SCRA Act 1956. Now, there's a huge definition of the borrowing securities. Now, what do you mean by securities? Security includes and security excludes. There's a huge definition of the word called security. Security includes and security excludes. Now, question is, sir, what do you mean by security includes and what do you mean by security excludes? Now, listen to this point very carefully. There are total 9 things which are in the definition of security, and there is only one thing which is exclusion from the security. What are the 9 things? Securities includes shares, stock, debenture stock, scrips, bonds, and marketable securities. Marketable securities. Are you getting the point? This is the point number 1 of the 9 points which I am going to tell. So tell me, first of all, are we doing the Companies Act definition or SCRA Act definition? SCRA Act definition. What is the name of the definition? Securities. In the securities, what we are doing, what do you mean by securities? There are 9 things includes in the security and there's one thing excludes in the security. What is the first point? It includes shares, stock, debenture stock, scrips, bonds, and marketable securities. Next point, it also includes derivatives. It also includes what? Derivatives. Now, all these words which you are not able to understand right now, you all are going to learn these words in the CA final ka subject called SFM, Strategic Financial Management. There you will all understand what do you mean by derivatives, what do you mean by bonds, and what do you mean by marketable securities. Some of the points might be looking similar to you, but some of the points might be looking alien to you. Now, let me tell you one thing. Derivatives means future securities. Derivative means future securities on which we enter into a future contract. Now, what is the third thing? Units issued by collective investment schemes. Unit issued by collective investment schemes. Now, there are some organizations in India which are known as CIS organizations. What do you mean by CIS? Collective investment securities. You pay the money to them and they invest on your behalf. You pay the money to them and they invest the money on your behalf into the different securities in the stock market. So those people who invest your money, they will give you one receipt in return or not, one acknowledgement or not, कि sir, your money is there with us, we are investing your money. That units which are issued by the CIS, collective investment scheme, is known as what? Securities. Next point. I hope you all might have heard about the mutual funds also. So units issued by Mutual Funds Institute. Units issued by the Mutual Funds Institute is also a part of the securities definition. So total out of 9, 4 I told you. So what do you mean by security, everyone? Security means shares, stock, debenture stock, scrips, bond, marketable securities. Derivatives. Units issued by collective investment scheme. Units issued by Mutual Funds Institute. Next one, security receipts. Security receipts issued under SURFACE Act. SURFACE Act 2002. Now, none of you might be aware of this fact called SURFACE Act. Acha, everyone, please tell me whether your accounts mein banking accounts chapter is over?
No, sir.
No. Now listen to this. Acha, tell me, Umel, just have a conversation so that everyone can understand. Umel, please tell me, I am a bank and you are a borrower. You came to me and you took a loan. Am I correct? Now I gave you the loan. What is your responsibility? Are you going to pay me the EMIs on monthly basis?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now, Umyal, what happened? You stopped paying the EMI. So, in my books of accounts, Umyal, you are a liability or you are an asset to me. In my books of accounts,
Yes, sir.
I am in my books of accounts. You are an asset to me. Am I correct or not? Now,
Yes, sir.
till the time you are paying me the EMIs, you are performing asset. But now you stopped paying me the EMIs. Are you a performing asset or you are a non-performing asset? You are a non-performing asset. Am I correct or not? Like you, so many borrowers are there who have stopped making the payment of loans. Now, as a banker, I don't have the time to come to your home and collect the EMIs and all. Am I correct, Umiyan? Yes or no?
Yes,
So, as a banker, what I'll do, I will sell my non-performing assets from where the money is not coming to some companies in India. They are known as SAR companies. SAR means what? Securitization and reconstruction. SAR means what? Securitization and reconstruction companies. So I will sell all my NPS to them. So say for example, Umel, my NPS are total 2000 crore rupees who are not paying the money. What is the total due? 2000 crores. So that 2000 crores, I will sell it to the SAR company at 1900 crores. What is the discount I gave to SAR company? 100 crores. Now, as a SAR company, what they will do? They will go to my borrower's place and they will recover the money. They will recover the money. Suppose their work is only to recover the money. Actually, their work actually is to recover the money. So they will recover the money. After recovering the money, they recovered 2000 crore rupees. Now tell me, how much they paid me as a bank? 1900 crores. And how much they recovered? 2000 crores. Did they get the profit of 100 crores or not?
yes, sir.
Yes or no? Yes, they got the profit of 100 crores. Those companies, what they do, when the bank sells them their NPAs to those companies are known as SAR company and they issue some security receipt to the banks. That security receipts are given in the point number 5. Now, what is the name of this act, Amma? Just read it. What is the words I have used in this act? SARFAESI. It stands for Securitization and Reconstruction of Financial Asset and Enforcement of Securities Interest Act 2002. It's a very huge act actually. This is also waiting for you in CA final. So I hope out of 9 things, 5 things you all understood. So what is the definition of securities? It includes share, stock, debenture, scrips, bond, marketable, derivatives, units issued by CS, units issued by mutual funds, and securities receipts issued under SARFAESI Act 2002. Next one. Any instrument or certificate issued by body corporate. Any instrument or a certificate issued by body corporate. Next one. Government securities. So government securities are also covered in the definition of securities. Next one. Any other security which is declared as security, any other instrument which is declared as a security by central government. Means what? That was not under the definition of security, but central government declared it as a security. So in total, how many points are over? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 points are over, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, sorry. 8 are over. 8 are over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are over. Now, ninth point is, what is the ninth point? Interest or right in securities. Interest or right in the securities. So these are the 9 things you have to remember in the definition of security. Now the question arises, sir, what is excluded in the security? What is excluded in the security is known as ULIP. Can anybody tell me what is the full form of ULIP? ULIP stands for Unit Linked Insurance Policies. Unit linked insurance policy. So why I'm telling you this definition is because this definition has so many times been asked in the MCQ. What is not a part of security? So you just have to remember that thing. What is not a part of security? ULIP is not a part of security. What is the full form of ULIP? Unit linked insurance policies. Correct, everyone? Or they may also ask you the question, okay, out of these four, what are the securities? So they may give you these kind of options. Say for example, they are giving the option derivative, option number 1. Option number 2, units issued by mutual fund. Option number 3, units issued by CAS. Option number 4, all of the above. So what will be your answer? All of the above. Are you getting the point? So this is what the definition of security is, everyone. You all have to understand. And this definition, again repeating, is not a definition of the Companies Act. We have borrowed this definition from which act, everyone? We have borrowed this definition from the SCRA Act under section number 2, clause H of SCRA Act 1956. So this is the definition you have to do about the security. So now there are some basic homework we have already done to enter into this chapter. So in this chapter, we are going to understand these kind of things. What do you mean by prospectus? What do you mean by private placement? What public company can do, what public company can't do, what private can do, what private can't do. Then we'll also understood what do you mean by public offer. It is means IPO, FPO, OFS. I hope you all know the difference between IPO, FPO and OFS now. Next point, we also understood the definition of the word called security. Now, the most important thing is going to start now. Okay, everyone, please understand what do you mean by the term called prospectus? What do you mean by the term called prospectus? Now, section number 2, subsection 70 of the Companies Act talks about the word called prospectus. Actually, the definition of the prospectus is so huge that okay, I have divided the definition into 9 parts. Into how many parts? 9 parts. So I will tell you those 9 parts. You just understand those 9 parts. After that, we'll merge together and we'll understand each and everything. Now, what do you mean by prospectus, everyone? Prospectus means an invitation to public. Am I correct, everyone? Tell me, everyone, what is the difference between prospectus and private placement? Is private placement an invitation to the public? Or is private placement an invitation to the selected group of people? Selected group of people. Is it clear? So therefore, prospectus is what? Prospectus is an invitation to the public. Clear, everyone? For what? For purchase or subscription of what? Should I write shares or it's better to use the word called securities? For purchase, yes, for purchase and subscription of securities. Clear? Third, by a body corporate. By a what? Body corporate. Now, anybody can tell me on the day 1, I told you the difference between a company and a body corporate. Which one is a broader term? Body corporate. So everyone, please tell me what is the full form of LIC, Umayal? Please tell me what is the full form of LIC?
Life insurance policy.
Life Insurance Corporation of India. Am I correct? Is it Life Insurance Corporation of India Limited? No. So LIC is nothing but a body corporate. Are you getting the point? So shares and securities can be issued by the companies also, and the shares and securities can be issued by the body corporate also. So it will be unjustified if we use the word called company. It's better to use the word called what? Body corporate. So did you all understand? What do you mean by body corporate? So it is an invitation to the public for the purchase and subscription of the securities by a body corporate, right? Via notices, circulars, and advertisements. Via what? Notices, circulars, and advertisement. It means whenever you have to give the prospectus, prospectus must always be in writing. It can never be an oral invitation. Prospectus can never be a which invitation? oral invitation. It is always and always going to be in writing. So did you all understand? Now tell me everyone, have you ever seen in the OTT platform or in the TV, there is one advertisement comes for the mutual funds, Sahi hai bolke. One advertisement comes in the TV nowadays, Sahi hai bolke. MS Dhoni, so many people talk about the mutual funds, do the investment and all, and after that they use the word called Sahi hai. Like, good one, this is a good decision. So whenever you do any kind of advertisement, whenever you issue any kind of prospectus can be issued via notices, it can be issued via circulars, or it has to be in the form of advertisement. It means prospectus is always and always required to be in writing. Oral invitation is never going to be called as a prospectus. So everyone, please write CC if you all understood the first 4 points which I have written of prospectus ka definition. So prospectus is an invitation to the public for the purchase and subscription of the securities by a body corporate via notices, circulars and advertisements. Now, there are 2 types of prospectus which are included in the definition of prospectus, including, what is written? Including shelf or red herring prospectus. Including which prospectus? Shelf prospectus and red herring prospectus. So these are the 2 types of prospectus which we'll understand when we'll do the topic, right? So including shelf and red herring prospectus. Next point. It includes consents of all the concerned persons. It includes the consents of all the concerned persons. Now remember one thing, in the prospectus, so many people sign the prospectus. Prospectus contains so many statements. Prospectus contains so many people. Now let me show you the practically how the prospectus of LIC looks like, and tell me whether one person is involved or so many persons are involved in the prospectus. Let me just let me show you this prospectus. Yeah. Are you able to see the prospectus, everyone? This is the prospectus of LIC of India. Right or not? Now, are you able to see that just now I told you ki on, I think 16th, that is on Monday, the listing is going to take place. Can you see that who is the biggest promoter of LIC, everyone? Are you able to see the name? Our promoter. Who is the promoter of LIC?
President.
Yes, yes. So are you able to see that so many people are engaged in prospectus? You can see that Pawan Agarwal is the company secretary and compliance officer. Are you getting the point? There is a list of so many people. These are the people who are associated with the prospectus. Ganesh Rane, Mayuri Arya, Abhi Agarwal, all these people. Who is the name of the registrar? Mr. Murli Krishna. Right or not? This is just now recently has been added. So many people will be involved in the making of the prospectus. Are you getting the point? You can see that this is how the prospectus looks like. And can you see that how many pages are there in the prospectus, everyone? How many pages you are able to see?
643.
643. So you can see that prospectus is a very, very huge document. It's a very, very huge document. So prospectus contains so many things. So that is the reason I'm saying that it contains the consents of all the concerned person. Every person whose name is given in the prospectus is liable for the issue of prospectus. Clear, everyone? I hope you are seeing the things practically also. That is putting something in your head. Next one. Prospectus must have contents. How the prospectus should look like, that is given under section number 26. Must have contents as per section number 26. Now, what do you mean by section number 26? Section number 26 says that the prospectus must be broadly divided into 4 parts. What is the part number 1? That is called part A. Part A talks about general information of the company. Which information of the company? General information of the company. Like you can see that in the beginning of the page only we found that ki our promoter is this, our history, background, we are LIC, we have been incorporated in that year and this year. So brief history, the general information of the company comes in part number A. What is part B? Part B of the prospectus always talks about financial information of the company. Which information, everyone? Financial information of the company. It means in this part B of the prospectus, the company gives its financial statements like balance sheet, P&L, cash flow statement, notes to accounts, statement of changes in equity of the last 5 years. There comes the part C. In the part C, actually, it is a clarification part. It's a which part? Clarifications part. This part says that ki whatever is written in part A and whatever is written in part B, I certify that ki everything written in part A and part B is true and correct. Where that statement is written in part C. So part C is basically a clarification on part A and part B. Then there comes the part D. Now part D talks about other disclosures. What is a part D talks about? Other disclosure. So this is how broadly the prospectus is divided into. So basically prospectus is divided into 4 parts as per section number 26, right? Now point number 8, to be registered with ROC. So remember one thing, you cannot issue the prospectus until and unless a company does not register its prospectus with whom? ROC. If the company registers its prospectus with the ROC, then only it is allowed. Otherwise, it is not at all allowed. Are you getting the point? So you have to register your prospectus with ROC and having a validity of how many days? 90 days. The prospectus is always having a validity of how many days, everyone? 90 days. I hope you all understood the definition of prospectus, everyone. This is called the huge definition of prospectus given under section number 2, subsection 70. Again telling you from this chapter onwards, the things are going to be little bit difficult for you to understand. Why? Because you are going to listen these points for the first time. So it's my humble request to all of you, the moment you think that something is not going inside your head, immediately unmute yourself and ask me the doubt. Otherwise, it will be the very difficult and very big problem for you people when you will start revising the law on your own. Up to the previous chapter, why you people were comfortable? Because you had an idea, something about. From this chapter onwards, you don't have an idea because you all are listening this particular topic for the first time. I hope all of you are understanding whatever I am saying. Yes or no? So if we'll merge these 9 points, Amma, if we'll merge all these 9 points, do we get a big definition of the prospectus? Yes. So let's roll out the definition in our head and let's see whether how many points we can remember. Sir, first point I told you, prospectus is an invitation to the public. What does that mean? Ki prospectus is never offered to the limited group of people. For the limited group of people, we already have the another method that is called private placement. But we are talking about prospectus, so it is an invitation to the public. Point number 1. Point number 2, invitation to the public for what? Invitation to the public for purchase and subscription of the securities. Sir, what do you mean by securities? That we have already covered under section number 2, subsection H of SCRA Act 1956. Point number 3, sir, who issues the prospectus? Body corporate issues the prospectus. You can see that in the screen. Point number 3 pe likha hua hai, of a body corporate. Next point, point number 4. Prospectus is required to be issued via written form only. It can be a notices, it can be circular, or it can be advertisement. So oral invitation is a prospectus? Answer is no. Point number 5 mein, there are 2 types of prospectus which are nowadays becoming very popular. One is known as shell prospectus and reading prospectus. You can see that in the point number 5. Point number 6 mein what we understood that ki prospectus contain the consents of so many people. So many people are associated while making a prospectus. That's why their consent is required in drafting the prospectus. Next one, it should have the contents as per section number 26. So section number 26, you can see that on the right side corner, I have written section number 26 says that ki prospectus should be broadly classified into 4 parts. Part A, Part B, Part C, Part D. Part A talks about the general information, part B talks about the financial information, and part C talks about the clarification. And part D, what is part D? Part D talks about the disclosures. Next point, we understood that can you issue the prospectus without registering it to the ROC? The answer is no. Sir, we cannot proceed with the prospectus without issuing it with whom? ROC. And point number D, last May, what we have understood that once you register the prospectus with ROC, it has a validity of 90 days. It means in the next 90 days, you have to go for a public offer. Otherwise, your total hard work of the prospectus will go zero. Did you all understand each and every word what we have listened so far? Yes, everyone? So this is called the definition of prospectus, everyone. This is called the definition of prospectus, right? Now, so what is the next thing in the prospectus we have to understand? The next question in the prospectus you have to understand is ki what are those cases? What are the situations? What are the situations under which prospectus is not required to be issued? Can you please tell me what are the cases under which prospectus is not required to be issued? Now, if I have to ask you one by one, please write in the answer in the comment box. Immediately, I need an answer. Tell me, everyone, when we make a private placement of the shares, do we issue prospectus or application offer? Is prospectus required when we are offering the shares to the private group of people?
No, sir.
No. So it means point number one, when company makes a which placement?
Private placement.
Private placement of shares. Because prospectus is what? Invitation to the public. Private placement is not an invitation to the public. So when the company makes a private placement of shares, prospectus required or not required? Sir, answer is not required. Point number two, think logically and tell me, have you all heard of the person called underwriters? Anybody has heard the word called underwriters?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So tell me, Arunachalam, what do you mean by underwriters?
The one who will purchase the security.
Very nice. Yes, yes. So can I say that, Arunachalam, underwriters are those people who help the company in subscribing the share capital, who help the marketing of the company, who do the advertisement for the company, publicity for the company, and help the company in selling the shares?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So in that case, who issues the prospectus? All of you. Underwriters issue the prospectus to the public. Company does not issue the prospectus to the public. Who issue the prospectus, everyone? Underwriters issue the prospectus on the behalf of the company. Company does not make the public offer of securities to the public. The second case is when company enters into underwriting agreement. Company enters into underwriting agreement. Everyone crystal clear? Yes or no? Yes. So these are the two situations under which prospectus is not required. Acha, Umal, please tell me, what do you mean by bonus shares and right shares?
Bonuses and right shares are issued to the existing shareholders.
So tell me, existing shareholders are outside public or they are already the known people to the public?
Already.
So tell me, do I have to issue them a prospectus or only letter of offer?
Offer only.
Only offer only, because if I'm offering the bonus shares and right shares to the outside public, then only it is called as invitation to the public. Na? Here to I'm issuing right shares and bonus shares to whom? To the existing shareholders. So existing shareholders के लिए prospectus required or not required? Not required.
Not
Clear,
required.
everyone? Point number 4. Can anybody tell me what is the full form of ESOPs?
Employee stock exchange.
Yes. So, brother, please tell me, Arun Prasad. Arun Prasad, please tell me, what does the E stands for?
Employees.
So, employees means what? They are outsider or insider of the company?
Insider.
So, do we have to issue the prospectus, Arun?
No need.
No need. Okay. Point number 5, Arun, please continue. Tell me one thing. What do you mean by sweat equity shares? Sweat equity shares are those shares which we generally offer to the Directors and employees of the company who does the hard work on the behalf of the company. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So are they the outsiders or they are already the known people?
The insiders, known people.
Known people. So do we need to issue the prospectus?
Not required.
Not required. So are you understanding the heading and the answer which I am writing below?
Yes, sir.
Yes. And point number 6, everyone, if such shares and debentures are already quoted at stock exchange. Remember, I have already registered some of the shares and debentures with the NSE and BSE. I already registered so many years back, but today I am issuing them. Do I have to issue the prospectus again now? Or it is already issued or already registered? It is already registered, quoted, listed at what? Recognized stock exchange. I do not have to issue the prospectus again if I want to issue such shares. Did you all understand the concept? What I am saying? Yes or no? So these are the 6 cases under which prospectus is not required to be issued. Point number 1, when the company makes a private placement. Point number 2, when the company enters into underwriting agreement. Point number 3, bonus and right shares. Point number 4, ESOPs. 5, sweat equity shares. And 6, if the such shares and debentures are already quoted on recognized stock exchange. Is it clear to all of you? Yes or no? Did you all understand the concept of prospectus here?
Sir.
Yes, everyone? Now,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Yes.
Now, what is the next thing we have to understand, everyone? What is the next thing we have to understand? Now tell me, did I just not tell you that prospectus is required to be registered with whom? Prospectus is required ROC. Now, under what circumstances ROC may cancel or may refuse the registration of prospectus? Now listen to this very, very carefully. So many times this question has been asked. Okay, under what circumstances the ROC may refuse or may cancel the registration of your prospectus? Point number 1. If prospectus is not properly dated, if the prospectus is not properly dated, can anybody tell me what is the last point in the prospectus I told you? Definition mein, how many days of validity the prospectus is having?
90 days.
90 days of validity. Those 90 days are basically going to start from when? The date which you mention on the prospectus and the date on which you register the prospectus with whom? ROC. Now, when the ROC is looking at your prospectus, there is no proper dating done on the prospectus. There's no proper date given on the prospectus. Now, tell me, ROC will register it or ROC will refuse to register it?
Refuse to register.
ROC will refuse to register it. Did you all understand the point? Yes or no? Did you all understand the
Yes,
point?
sir.
Everyone write CC if you all understood the concept. So if it is not properly dated, then ROC may cancel or refuse to register your prospectus. Is it clear to all of you? Please let me know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Waiting for your reply in the chat box as well, other people. Very nice. Now, what is the point number 2? Sir, if consents of concerned persons are not properly included in the prospectus. Now tell me one thing. Prospectus must include the name of every person who was associated in making a prospectus. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So suppose my name is not included. I'm the auditor of the company. My name is not included. So it means prospectus is complete or incomplete? Incomplete. So if the
Incomplete.
consents of the concerned persons are not properly included in the prospectus, then also ROC will refuse the registration of the prospectus, right? Point number 3. If contents, above point is relating to consents, this point is relating to contents. If the contents are not as per section number dash, tell me how the contents of the prospectus should be. How the prospectus should be. Yes, Arnachalam. I know you know the answer. Umyal, you also know. Section number 26. Are you getting the point? The contents of the prospectus must always be as per section number 26. Did I tell you the same thing earlier? Yes, have contents as per section number 26. So contents of the prospectus are not as per section number 26. So very nice, Harshini, very nice. So when the contents are not as per section number 26, so tell me, are you doing the compliance or violation? Violation. So ROC will register or ROC will refuse to register? ROC will refuse to register. Right? Point number 4. When experts consent or statement was issued in prospectus without his permission. Okay, Umyal, please tell me one thing. Let's say, for example, I'm a company which is going for a public offer and I appointed you as an expert for one particular work. Clear? Now, Umyal, you
Yes, sir.
gave me a negative report. You gave me a which report? Negative report.
Negative
Negative
report.
report means what? You found some problems and you gave me a positive or negative report? Negative report. Now, what I did, your negative report I turned into what?
Positive.
Positive. And issued in the prospectus without your permission. You came to know that and you made a complaint to whom? ROC.
ROC.
Now, ROC received your complaint. Now, tell me one thing. What is the complaint you made? Ki, sir, I gave a negative report, but the company has issued my consent without my permission or with my permission?
Without my consent.
Without my consent. Without my permission, they added my report. That too, a negative report has been changed into what? Positive report. So
Positive.
tell me, is the company doing the fraud or not?
Doing fraud.
Yes. So in that case, ROC will register the prospectus or will not register?
Refuse it.
Refuse it. And point number 5, when expert was found out to be an interested party or related party. Okay, tell me, Umyal, again. Let's continue the same example. So, Umyal, say for example, I am the MD of the company. Okay. So I needed some expert advice as per the SEBI requirement. Tell me one thing, when I'm hiring an expert, what do you expect, that it should be a dependent party or it should be an independent party?
Independent.
So Umyal, you are my sister. Say for example, you are my sister and I hired you only as my expert. Now tell me, as my sister, will you give me a negative report or you would always like to give me a positive report?
Give a favor report.
You will always do the favor and biasness and partiality towards me or not? Now,
Yes, sir.
ROC came to know that you are my relative. You are my sister. And I hired you as an expert. So tell me one thing, ROC will accept it or will reject it?
No, it refuses it.
Yeah. So did you all, everyone in the class, please tell me via chat box, did you all understand the 5 reasons why ROC may refuse to register your prospectus? Tell me in the chat box. Quickly. समझ में आया? So when the prospectus is not properly dated, when the consents of the concerned persons are not properly included, when the contents are not as per section number 26, when the expert consent was included without his permission, and when the expert was found to be a which person? Interested person or related party. Clear everyone? Yes or no? Yes. Chalo. So with that, what is happening? We have done the meaning of the prospectus. We understood the situations under which prospectus is required to be issued. And we also understood what? The cases under which prospectus is not required to be issued, everyone. Now, what is the next thing we have to understand? The next thing which we have to understand is known as, what is the next thing? Wait a second. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. Now, the next thing which we have to understand, everyone, that is called dematerialization. What is the next thing we have to understand now? Is known as dematerialization. Now, anybody is having an idea about the dematerialization or demat? Anybody has heard about this thing? Demat or dematerialization? If you have heard, please let me know. What do you mean by demat? What do you mean by dematerialization? Yeah,
So
Arun.
demat is an account where we can buy shares and sell.
You
All
can
details will
buy
be
and
there.
sell the shares. You can do the trading in the shares. All those things, right?
Sir, platform of shares, sir.
Sorry,
Platform of shares.
which form of shares?
Platform.
Platforms of the shares. Okay, nice. Dematerialization. Very nice. Now,
Account, sir.
okay, yeah, Haran, please tell me.
Account where we
Can
save our share certificate in a digital form.
Yes, very nice. The account where we keep our share securities in a digital form or in the e-units manner or in the electronic form. Am I correct? Yes, very nice. So you all have an idea about the dematerialization, but can anybody tell me how dematerialization takes place? Who issues you the shares? Who issues you the shares in the demat form? That internal processing we are going to understand now. Now listen to this very carefully. ये पूरा process याद रखना. Now look at this process. Now suppose there is this investor. Now this person is an investor. Now this investor want to invest 1 lakh rupee in the Reliance Industries Limited. What is the company he wants to invest into? Reliance Industries Limited, right? Now Reliance Industries Limited is known as issuer. So obviously why we are calling it as an issuer? Because issuer is only going to issue the shares. Am I correct? So we do not call it as a company. When we talk about the demat, we call them as what? Issuer. Now what this investor will do, this investor will go to one DP. He will go to one DP. Sir, what do you mean by DP? DP stands for depository participant. DP stands for depository participant. Sir, can you please give the practical example? I think you all know that ki ICICI Bank is there. Am I correct or not? Yes. But you all must also agree with me that ki ICICI Direct karke ek one branch is there, like Axis Direct, ICICI Direct, HDFC Securities, Axis Securities. Yeah, all the banks in India have a special branches where they open your demat account. Are you getting the point? You can open the demat account with them. But demat account operations are not going to take place in the bank. In the bank, only banking operations will take place. So like in the ICICI Bank, we have one ICICI. Just Google it today, you will come to know. ICICI Direct. Now, what do you mean by ICICI Direct? It's an agent where we can go and open our demat account. So investor is meeting the depository participant to open a which account? To open a demat account. Now, what do you mean by demat account, everyone? Dematerialization account. Clear, everyone? Now, what this DP is saying, along with the demat account, you have to link your savings bank account also. It means your bank account is also going to be linked with your demat account. Are you getting the point? Now, this investor is going to open a demat account with the DP. Now, this DP is an agent of depository. This DP is an agent of depository. Now, question is, sir, who is depository? Now, listen to this point very carefully. This investor told his DP कि I want to invest 2 lakh rupees into the shares of Reliance Industries Limited. How much money he want to invest? 2 lakh rupees into the shares of Reliance Industries Limited. Into the shares of Reliance Industries Limited. How many? 2 lakhs. But investor does not apply it to the company. Investor told this thing to whom? Investor told this thing to whom? DP. He told this thing to the DP कि I want to invest 2 lakh rupees. DP told this thing to whom? Depositor, his boss. Now depositor will tell this thing to whom? Reliance. कि sir, I got a request of buying of your shares of 2 lakh rupees. Now what the issuer will do? Issuer will issue 2 lakhs worth of share certificates to depository. Issuer is not issuing the shares to the investor. Issuer is issuing the shares to whom? Depository. Now 2 lakh worth of share certificates, physical share certificates have been issued to whom? Depository. What the depository does, he converts the physical share certificates into e-units, into demat units. And after conversion, this depository credits these e-units to his agent's account, that is called DP's account. And DP credits these units into the demat account of the investor. This is how dematerialization takes place. Did you all understand the concept or not? Yes or no? So issuer never issues the shares directly to the investor. Issuer issues the shares to the depository. Depository converts the physical shares into the demat shares. After the depository credits the shares to the DP account. DP credits the shares to the investor's account. Did you all understand this? Yes or no? Write in the comment box. Everyone, this is called dematerialization process. Did you all understand this concept? Crystal clear, all of you? Yes or no? Waiting. Please let me know. Yes. So this is what do you mean by dematerialization of securities, everyone. Now, same way, if the investor want to sell the shares, he will tell it to the DP. DP will tell it to the depository. Depository will, DP will debit the demat account of investor. He will take the 2 lakh worth of shares from the demat account of the investor. DP will transfer these shares to whom? Depository. Depository will cancel those e-units, and these 2 lakh worth of shares, depository will again release it back to whom? Issuer. Did you all understand the concept or not? Yes or no, everyone? Did you all understand the concept? Crystal clear? So this is called dematerialization of securities. Now, what they are saying that, point number 1, dematerialization is mandatory for following Point number one, those companies which are making public offer. Those companies which are making the which offer? Public offer of the securities. It means today, if you are making an offer of IPO, now tell me everyone, what are the three things I told you in the public offer? That's why I told you some of the definitions in the beginning, so that you can tell me now. What are the three definitions? IPO, FPO, OFS. Right or not? So whenever the company is making any public offer of the securities, either in the form of IPO or in the form of FPO or in the form of OFS, you always have to go via dematerialization. There is no other option. So dematerialization is mandatory. But those companies raising capital via other than public offer, via other than which offer? Public offer, means they are not making the public offer. They have an option. Either they can also keep that in the demat form, or they can also keep the shares in the which form? Physical form. They can keep the shares in the demat form, or they can keep the shares in the demat physical form. Did you all understand the concept of dematerialization, everyone? Yes or no? Next point, what is written in this section, that in case of promoters, in case you are the promoters of public company, in case you are the promoters of which company? Public company. In case you are the promoters of public company holding convertible securities, holding which securities? Convertible securities. Can you please tell me what do you mean by convertible securities? At the time of redemption, they will be converted into which shares? Equity shares. Are you getting the point? Those securities are known as convertible securities. So if you are a promoter of a public company holding convertible securities, then before making public offer of securities, now tell me, you are holding the physical shares as a promoter. You are holding the physical shares as a promoter and you want to make a public offer. Now tell me one thing. Are you allowed to make the public offer in the non-demat form or only in the demat form? Are you allowed to make the offer in the non-demat form or only in the demat form?
Only in
Demat form. So you are a promoter of the public company holding the convertible securities. Then before making the public offer of securities, must convert his securities into which form? Into demat form first. Are you getting the point? Without converting it into demat form, you are allowed to make the offer or you are not allowed to make the offer? You are not allowed to make the offer because no one will buy your physical shares, because today everyone has the demat account. Did you all understand this provision relating to Companies Act? Yes or no? Yes. So this is how the dematerialization takes place. This is what the rule number 1 of dematerialization, and this is what the rule number 2. What is the rule number 1? Hey bhaiya, if you are making a public offer, then in that case dematerialization is compulsory. But those companies which are making a non-public offer, they have the choice. They can keep it in the physical form as well as in the demat form. Next one, if you are the promoter of the public company holding the convertible securities, then before making the offer of your securities, you have to first convert your shares into which form? Demat form. Crystal clear to all of you? Yes or no? Is it clear to all of you? Yes or no? Please let me know.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this is what do you mean by demat form? Clear? Yes. Okay, Umyal, you want me to repeat this thing? Abbreviations, right? So SURFACE का abbreviation is securitization and reconstruction of financial assets and enforcement of securities interest. Did you understand? Securitization and reconstruction of financial assets and enforcement of security interest. And ESOPs means employee stock option plans. I hope now you understood. Yes, Umel?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So do you want me to repeat again if you're writing?
No, sir.
Yeah. Anyways, I'll write it here as well. No problem. Yeah, I'll write it here. It is securitization and reconstruction of financial assets and enforcement of security interest. Right? Act 2002. This is what the full form. And here ESOPs का full form is employee stock option plans. Employee stock option. Right? So this is what the difference between both. Right? Now, under what circumstances are all these points we are done with? So I think we are on the, yeah, I hope you all understood the dematerialization ke both the rules, everyone. Yes or no? Dematerialization rules, right? Now, the next most important thing which we have to understand is this thing called, just wait, let me just tell you. Now, this particular topic has been recently asked by the ICA and recently has been added in the ICA material, that is called dematerialization and applicability of the dematerialization on unlisted public company. Now, first of all, to tell me, what is the difference between the listed public company and unlisted public company? A listed public company is the one who has its equity share capital listed on any stock exchange or recognized stock exchange. Everyone, any stock exchange or recognized stock exchange? No. Who has his equity share capital listed on a recognized stock exchange, that is called listed public company. Then obviously, what do you mean by unlisted public company? Unlisted public company is the one which is not a listed company. So the biggest doubt which comes to the student's mind is, sir, is dematerialization required only and only in case of listed entities? Answer is no. Answer is dematerialization is required on listed entities as well as the which entities? Unlisted entities. Are you getting the point? So these are the new rules which have been added recently in our ICAK study material. Now, first of all, let me tell you what is this rule. This is known as Rule 9 capital A. What is the name of the rule, everyone? Rule 9 capital A of PAS rules. Rule 9 capital A of PAS rules 2014. Now, what is Rule 9 capital A of PAS rules 2014? Now, try to understand this. PAS stands for Prospectus and Allotment of Securities Rules. Did you all understand the full form of PAS? PAS stands for Prospectus and Allotment of Securities Rules. So, Rule 9 capital A of PAS rules 2014. Now, what is the meaning of this rule? The meaning of this rule is says that dematerialization is also applicable on which company, everyone? Unlisted company. Now, should we understand the rule number capital 9A? And tell me one thing, In the rule number capital 9A, there are total 10 rules we have to understand. It means under the rule number capital 9A also, we have to understand 10 rules, everyone. How many rules? 10 rules we have to understand. So shall we start, everyone? Now, what is the rule number 1? Now try to understand this rule number 1, everyone, clearly. What is the rule number 1? Rule number 1 is कि in case you are a unlisted public company, in case you are a unlisted public company, then it is mandatory that you have to issue the shares in the demat form only if you are making a public offer. Even if you are an unlisted public company, what is the rule number 1 says under the rule number 9A? If you are an unlisted public company and you are making a public offer, you have to make sure that you are making the offer of those securities in the which form? Demat form only. Now question is, what is the meaning of the question? Now question is, in case you are a unlisted public company, in case you are an unlisted public company, and you have some shareholders who are holding the shares in the physical form, in the which form, everyone? Physical form. Then in that case, it is your responsibility कि you have to give them the opportunity of converting it into the which form? Demat form. Are you understanding the point? You have to give them the opportunity to convert it into the which form? Demat form. Did you all understand what I'm saying? So remember one thing, UPC ko what we are going to say? We are going to say UPC as a what? We are going to say UPC as a unlisted public company. So you all know that these are the rules we are doing. So first of all, what is the point I told you? Ki if you are a UPC, unlisted public company, and you are making a public offer, you have to make sure that you are selling your securities in the which form only, everyone? Demat form. And in your company, if anybody else is holding the physical shares, then you should also have a facility to get their shares converted into the which form? Demat form. So let's say, for example, all of you want to buy the shares of my unlisted public company. So everyone, my question number 1, do I have a right to sell the shares in the physical form, or I have to sell the shares only in the demat form? Tell me, what is the answer number 1? Can I sell you the shares in the non-demat form or only in the demat form?
Only in the
Only in the demat form. And suppose Vikram, you are already the shareholder of my company, and Vikram, you are already holding the physical shares of my unlisted public company. So tell me, Vikram, do you think that my company should give you the facility to convert your physical shares into demat form, or there should be no facility? There should be a facility. So
Yes,
I
it
hope,
is.
yes. So I hope the point number 1 you all understood. What is the point number 1? Rule number 9 capital A applies to all the unlisted public company. It is applies to all the unlisted company. What does this say is that it must make its securities always offered in the which form? Demat form. And what is the point number 2? Just now I told you, must have the facility of dematerialization. What do you mean by facility of dematerialization? If already some existing shareholders are having what? Physical shares. So we should give them the opportunity to convert their shares into which form, everyone? Demat form. Did you all understand the point? But if you are a Nidhi company, if you are a which company? Nidhi company. If you are a government company, and if you are a wholly owned subsidiary, again speaking, if you are a Nidhi unlisted public company, if you are a government unlisted public company, or if you are a wholly owned subsidiary which is unlisted public company, then this rule number 9 capital A is not applicable on you. So it is applicable to all UPCs except Nidhi, except government, and except wholly owned subsidiary. Did you all understand the point? Yes. And if you are a UPC, you should have always you should have to sell your shares in the demat form. And in case you do not have, in case your shareholders are having the physical form, You have to make sure that you should give them the facility to convert their physical shares into the which form? Demat form. Is it clear to all of you? Yes or no? Is it crystal clear to all of you? Point number one, yes. Now, you know what is this called? This is called rule number 9A1. What is this point number one? Rule number 9, capital A1. Now, what is rule number 9, capital A2? What is the rule number 9, capital A2? Okay, if you are a unlisted public company, and you are thinking of making the issue of securities to the public, or you are going for a buyback of securities, or you are making a right issue of bonus shares. If any of these four offers you are making, issue of the securities, buyback of the securities, right of bonus issue, then in that case, before making all these four offers, it is your responsibility that your promoters of the company, your directors of the company, and KMPs of the company shareholdings first must be dematerialized. Ensure that your promoters, your directors, and KMPs shareholding, if they are holding in the physical form, must first be converted into which form? Demat form. Are you understanding the point? If they are already holding the demat form, there is no point. Directly you can go for issue of securities, buyback, right issue, bonus shares. But make sure that before making any of these four public offers, your promoters, your directors, and KMPs holding first be what? Dematerialized. Did you all understand rule number 9A capital 2? Sorry, rule number 9A2? Yes or no? Yes. So what is rule number 9A1 says that? Okay, sir, if you are an unlisted public company, issue the shares in the demat form or provide the facilities to the existing shareholders to convert their shares into the demat form. But rule number 9A capital 1, rule number 9 capital A1 is not applicable to the Nidhi, not applicable to the government, not applicable to the 100% wholly owned subsidiary. But rule number 9 capital A2 says that if you are a UPC, unlisted public company, and you are making the issue of securities, buyback of securities, right issue, bonus issue, first you have to ensure that your promoters, your directors, and KMPs must hold their securities in the which form? Dematerialized form. Did you all understand the point number 2, everyone? Yes or no? All of you, please tell me in the comment box, did you all understand the point number 2? I need an answer from all of you.
Yes, sir.
Perfectly understood. So point number 1 you understood. Point number 2 you all understood. Now, what is the third point? Obviously, the third point is known as 9 capital A3. They are saying that if you are a seller of UPC shares, and if you are a buyer of UPC shares. Now look at this point. If you are a seller of UPC shares, or if you want to buy the shares of the UPC, if you already have some of your existing shares, you have to first convert them into demat, then only you can sell it, and then only you can buy it. Now let me give you the practical example. Suppose Mr. A, he is having 10,000 shares of A Limited, which is a UPC, unlisted public company. He wants to sell his shares, but unfortunately his shares are in the which form? Physical form. So what the Mr. A has to do? Mr. A has to first convert his physical shares into which form? Demat form. Then only he can sell the shares in the market. Did you all understand this concept? Yes or no? Yes. This is from the whose point of view? Seller's point of view. Now listen to the next example. Suppose Mr. A is there. He wants to buy 10,000 shares of unlisted public company. Right or not? Now, Mr. A is already having some shares in physical form. He wants to buy the shares of the UPC, but he's already having some existing shares in the which form? Physical form. Then in that case, what Mr. A has to do? Mr. A has to first also convert this existing shareholding into the which form? Demat form. So either you are a seller of a UPC shares, or you want to buy the UPC shares, your first existing shareholding first must be converted into which form? Demat form.
Demat
Now,
form.
which rule says that? Rule number 9, capital A 3. Did you get the point? So, rule number 9, capital A 1, rule number 9, capital A 2, and rule number 9, capital A 3. Did you all understand the point? Yes. Now, everyone, please tell me logically, did I tell you that ki company does the dematerialization or depository does the dematerialization? Quickly, everyone, please respond.
Deposit.
Company never does the dematerialization. Who does the dematerialization? Depository does the dematerialization. It means when I'm saying that ki company should have the facility of dematerialization, it means company has to first register with the depository. Depository will help the company in doing the dematerialization of securities. Did you all understand what I'm saying? Yes or no? Yes. So that is what the rule number 9, capital A. Rule number 9, capital A 4. Now what is rule number 9, capital A 4? Registration. What is the name of the rule? Registration. Now what is the point number 1 written? Umyal, please read it out.
Every UPC first must register for dematerializations with depository, share transfer agent, or RTI.
What is RTI? Registrar to issue. So it means if you want to provide the facility of dematerialization in your own company, you have to first register with the depository, share transfer agent, and register of transfer to issues. Now, next one. Now tell me everyone, when we get qualified from ICI, do we get a membership number? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Same way when you are registering with the depository, you will get ISIN number. What is the number you will get, everyone? ISIN number. Can you please repeat what is the full form of ISIN written? International Security Identification Number. What is the full form? International Security Identification Number, separately for all different securities. Suppose you want to register with the depository for shares. So for the shares, there will be one ISIN. For debentures dematerialization, there will be another ISIN. For the preference share capital, there will be another ISIN. For another kind of security, there will be another ISIN. So means one ISIN is valid only and only for one type of securities. Can you read the point number 2, please? Read this point above.
Must obtain ICIN, International Security Identification Number, separately for all
Different
securities.
securities. So one ISIN is applicable for all securities, or you have to obtain the different ISINs. Different ISINs separately for all different securities. What is the next one? And these rules are framed by whom? These rules of registration are framed by SEBI as well as depository. So this is what the rule number 9, capital A4. Now let us revise these 4 rules first. So remember that, imagine that you don't know anything else. First let us revise these 4 rules. Rule number 1. Rule number 1 says that 9 capital A is applicable to all UPCs except Nidhi UPC, except government UPC, except wholly owned subsidiary UPC. They should always issue the securities in the demat form, and they should also provide the facility for their existing shareholders to convert the securities into demat form. That is what rule number 1. What is the rule number 2, everyone? If you are a UPC, you are making a issue of securities offer, if you are making a buyback offer, if you are making a right offer, if you are making a bonus offer, then it is your responsibility that first your promoters, directors and KMPs ka shareholding first must be converted into demat form. Point number 3 mein what we are understanding ki if you are a seller of UPC shares, or if you want to buy the shares of the UPC, your existing shares first must be converted into demat form. Point number 4 mein we understood ki demat you can't do, demat who can do? Depository can do. Therefore every UPC must obtain the registration with the depository. And when you are obtaining the registration with the depository, you have to obtain an ISIN number, International Security Identification Number. But remember one thing, one ISIN is not applicable for all securities. You have to obtain different ISIN for different securities. And these rules are not made by the Companies Act. These rules are made by whom? SEBI and depository. Now tell me everyone, up to 4 rules. Any doubt or no doubt? Please write in the chat box any doubt or no doubt. Umyal, do you have any doubt in the first 4 rules?
No, sir.
No. Everyone, please write in the comment box any doubt or no doubt in the first 4 rules. Like that, we have the total 10 rules and we have to make sure that we are completing these rules by today. Okay, perfect, perfect. Now, rule number, now tell me, Umyal, what should I write? What is this rule number? 9,
Eight.
capital A, 5. This is the rule number 9, capital A, 5. Now, tell me, Umyal, when we are registering with the depository, whether the depository will do your dematerialization facility for free or he will charge something.
Charge a fee.
Charge something. Now tell me, Umyal, do we have to pay admission fees to the depository? Yes. We are admitting, we are taking the facility from the depository. So do we have to pay the admission fees? Yes. Do we also have to pay annual fees? Yes. So what are the 2 fees we have to pay to the depository as a UPC? One is admission fees and one is which fees? Annual fees. And we also, when we take the house on rent, everyone, do we pay the 2 months, 3 months deposit or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, same is the case here. We have to pay the security deposit also. With whom? Depository. We have to pay the security deposit also with whom? Depository. And that security deposit with the depository, what we are paying, should be 2 times of your annual fees. What is the maximum security deposit have you pay? You have to pay 2 times of your annual fees. So did you all understand the payment rules? Did you all understand the payment rules? Yes. Point number 1. Admission fees and annual fees you have to pay. Point number 2. Security deposit also you have to pay, which you have to maintain all the times with the depository, which should not be more than 2 into your annual fees. Crystal clear? Yes or no? Yes. Now what is the next rule? Rule number 9A6. What is the rule? Next rule? Rule number 9A6. Tell me one thing. If you have not paid annual fees or admission fees, or if your fees is due, tell me one thing. If your course fees is due in the academy, whether the academy in charge will allow you to attend the classes? No.
sir.
Same is the case here. If as a UPC, my fees is due with the depository, do you think the depository will allow me or SEBI will allow me to go for any public issue, any bonus issue, any right issue, or any buyback issue?
No, sir.
No. First we have to clear it, then only we can proceed. Yes or no? Yes.
Yes,
So
sir.
see, no UPC shall be allowed. What is the point written? No UPC shall be allowed to do issue, buyback, right issue, bonus issue, unless its fee is due and what? Unless it's, sorry, I have written, I think, wrongly. Unless it's due fees. Unless its due fee is not cleared. Clear, everyone? Unless its due fees is not cleared. If your due fees is not cleared, you will not be allowed to make any buyback, right issue, bonus issue. It means rule number 9A6 says that first clear your dues as a company, then only you will be allowed to issue the shares. Is it clear, everyone? Yes? Now, what we have? Now, 7th point which is written in front of you is not rule number 7. It is rule number 9A8. What is the rule number it is? Umyal, it is rule number 9A8. It means what is the 8th point? It is rule number 988A. Above one is 8 and this one is 8A. And this is 9A9 and this is 9A10. So did you understand the point? Instead of writing the rule number 7, we have to use the word called 8. And instead of 8, we have to use the word called 8A. Now, what is the rule number 9A8? That is point number 7 is saying. Now, remember one thing. If you are a UPC and you are registering with the depository, it is your responsibility to file half yearly return with the ROC. Tell me one thing, what do you mean by half yearly return? After every 6 months, means in a year, 2 times you have to file this return with whom? ROC. So what is the return form number? What is the form number you are able to see, everyone? PAS 6. We have to file with whom? Half yearly. So file half yearly form PAS 6 with ROC within how many days? 60 days from the end of the half year. So tell me, everyone, in the calendar year, what is the first half year ends? If I'm not wrong, it is 30th June. Am I correct? And second half year gets ends on 31st December. So approximately 29th August and 1st January. Oh, sorry, 1st March of the next year. These are the 2 dates when you have to file PAS 6 with whom? ROC half yearly. So on or before 29th August, you have to file one form PAS 6 with ROC, and on or before 1st March of the next year, you have to file form number PAS 6 with whom? ROC. Did you all understand the 7th rule, everyone? Yes. Acha, tell me, Umyal, you are a depository. Let's imagine you are a depository and I'm a UPC. So Umyal, I am giving you 2 lakh physical shares to convert into demat form. How many shares you will return me? How many shares? 2 lakh only. So when I gave you 2 lakh physical shares, you will return me 2 lakh electronic shares. Am I correct? Demat shares. But you return me 1,99,900. It means what is the shortfall? 100. Is it matching or mismatching? Mismatching. 100 shares shortfall. So do I have a right as a UPC to immediately bring it to the notice of Umyal depository कि Umyal, you have given me 100 shares less?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no? That is what is written. Read the rule number 8, Umyal. 8A, sorry.
If there is difference in issued capital and demat capital, bring it to the notice of depository, RTI, STDA immediately.
So tell me, if I'll get 100 shares less, so do I keep my mouth shut or should I immediately bring it to your notice? I have to bring it to your notice because I gave you 2 lakh shares, but you are returning me how many? Only and only. You are returning me how many? You are returning me only and only which shares? Only 1 lakh, 1,99,900 shares. It means 100 shares are shortfall. So am I paying you the annual fees, admission fees, everything properly? Then why you have given me the 100 shares less? I'll immediately bring it to your notice. Now, what is the rule number 9A? If you want to make a complaint as a UPC, if you want to make a complaint as a UPC against depository, against share transfer agent or against RTI, you have to make a complaint with this authority. Are you able to see the name of the authority, everyone? What is the name of the authority given? IEPFA. What is IEPFA, everyone? Investors Education and Protection Fund Authority. What is the name of the authority? Investors Education and Protection Fund Authority. And rule number 10 says that the IEPFA shall immediately initiate the action after consulting with whom? SEBI. So if the IEPFA is satisfied that the complaint made by the UPC against the depository is a genuine complaint, then IEPFA immediately will talk to the SEBI. Sir, I received a complaint against the depository. So whatever the SEBI will do after doing the consultation with the SEBI, the case will be filed. Did you all understand the 10 rules of dematerialization on unlisted public company, everyone? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So everyone, please tell me in the rule number 1 what we understood. It is not applicable to Nidhi. Main points we are going to underline. It is not applicable to Nidhi company, and it is not applicable to government, and it is not applicable to wholly owned subsidiary company. Clear? It is not applicable to the wholly owned subsidiary. That is what the rule number 1. Rule number 2 may be understood. If you want to make any offers, you have to make sure that your promoters, your directors, KMPs holding first should be dematerialized. In the rule number 3, we understood that if you are a transferor, means if you are a seller, or if you are a subscriber, of the securities, then in that case you have to make sure that your existing securities must first be converted into demat. Rule number 4 may we understood that every company, if they want to get a facility of dematerialization, first have to register themselves with whom? depository obtain ISIN. What is ISIN? International Security Identification Number. That is required for all the separate securities. Next point, these rules are framed by the SEBI. These rules are not framed by me. These rules are framed by the SEBI or depository. Rule number 5 may be understood that if the depository if the UPC want to stay with the depository, they have to pay him the admission fees and annual fees, along with that security deposit, which is 2 times the annual fees. Next one, no UPC shall be making any offer until unless his payment is not cleared. Rule number 7 may, that is 8 basically, we have understood that past 6 you have to file with whom? ROC. What is past 6? Half yearly return you have to file with whom? ROC within 60 days from the end of the every half year. So this is past 6, this is 60 days, and this is half yearly return. Next one, rule number 8A may, what we understood is basically an 8. If there is any difference in the issued capital and demat capital, then bring it notice to the depository immediately. And if you want to make any complaint to the depository, who is the authority where you will file a complaint in the rule number 9? IEPFA, that is called Investors Education and Protection Fund Authority, and IEPFA shall initiate the action against the depository after doing the consultation with SEBI. I hope all of you understood the concepts of today, everyone. Yes or no? I hope now you all will agree with me that company law is little bit something different. Are you getting the point? These things you were not even aware of. These are the new things which are coming to your mind now. Yes, everyone? Do you all agree with? Yes. So remember one thing, what you have already done was done in the past, but now what you are going to do, you have to concentrate more. And I already told you yesterday, do not take unnecessary day offs in these classes, because one topic is connected with another. Now those who are absent today, you may feel that they will not be comfortable enough in the tomorrow's class, because they will not be able to understand what I do, because today we have covered almost 7 to 8 topics. If I'm not wrong, we started with what? We started with the meaning of prospectus and private placement. I gave you the introduction. Then how many ways public and private company can raise the share capital? What do you mean by public offer, which are 3 type: IPO, FPO, OFS. Then I told you the definition of securities, if I'm not wrong. We have done the definition of securities. Then also we have done the definition of prospectus, where the 9 points we learned. And then we understood under what circumstances prospectus is not required to be issued. Then we also understand under what circumstances ROC may refuse to register your prospectus. Then we understood what do you mean by dematerialization and how it happens, and what is the requirement of dematerialization for public offer and promoters. And finally, we understood rule number 9 capital A, where the 10 sub rules we have to understand. And these sub rules are applicable on which company, everyone? Write in the comment box. These all 9A rules are applicable to which company? Quickly write in the comment box. Quickly. UPC. What is UPC? Unlisted public company. Clear, everyone? Yes, everyone? So I hope you all understood today's topic, and tomorrow we are going to maybe meet in the evening time only, as usual. Maybe tomorrow, what are the classes you have, everyone? Please tell me what are the classes you have tomorrow. Huh?